This is another video in the first read series where I read a poem by a poet I don't know or know very little about, just for the sheer joy of having a first experience of their poem. This is kind of how I got into poetry in the first place. I'm not suggesting that anything about these readings are wonderful. I might change my mind later on. It's just sheer joy. So this is from the magazine or the e-zine, The Tiny, and it's by Marisa Siegel, called Threadbare. Whenever I look at a poem, I always look at the form a little bit first and, weigh the things I can. So Threadbare, the title itself, I don't want to say it's pessimistic, but it has a somewhat negative connotation in itself, the idea of being threadbare or something that is, like clothing. The form, when I look at it, it doesn't look like a traditional form because the lines look like they have different syllable counts. So I take the first one, there's 3, second one 5, third one 4. So there's a variation here. Looks like open form, what people call free verse. Even the stanza lengths are different. So 2, 3, and then 6, 4. They just vary here. So I'm not going to read it for the form outside of how the form and the context go together. Threadbare. These are days that feel like the last. With the title, this suggests a kind of tiredness, being threadbare itself, that the days are repeating like there's no change between the days, when they're kind of running this person ragged. I might have a different idea once I get to the end of the poem, but that's what it looks like here. I hardly muster energy to reach their end. So it's not having enough energy to keep going on to reach the end of the day. It's like they burnt this speaker out. I like the short lines here. I think it works really well with this idea, the idea that like even the speaker can't even manage full sentences because they're kind of worn out, they're tired out. I hardly muster energy to reach their end. There's, oddly, just noticing this, there's a lot of E sounds in here, which is a little bit, I don't know, it's more rare that you kind of think of alliteration. You get like these T's or S's or W's, whatever it is, but like these kind of repetition of, assonance is what this is. Repetition of the E sound is a little different. For instance, today the news is grim, and no, I haven't heard from you. It's been 2 weeks without. So here the news is grim. We don't know whether this is personal news or if it's news of the world that's grim. We had some kind of historical context. Maybe we could say something, but we don't. So all we can say is the news is grim. And no, I haven't heard from you. It's been 2 weeks without. So we also don't know who the you is. We know this you seems somehow important to this person. If but 2 weeks absence seems like a lot. You probably know that person in some significant way. So there's this kind of absence of the you. Our speaker is worn out. Fear gathers at the edges of my bedroom window. So at this point, we have a speaker who's tired out. They're inside. We're like inside the bedroom. They're looking out. The news is grim. We know, like I said, I don't know if that's personal news or like historical news. News is grim. So outside it feels dangerous. So the fear gathers at the edges, and they're without somebody. So they, seem to be missing somebody. The cat crawls away from my hand, curls up instead by my feet, because this is what those I love do. So just note the cat crawls, curls, some nice sounds going on there with the repetition of the initial consonant sound here. Cat crawls away from my hand, curls up instead by my feet, because this is what those I love do. Or the cat loves this speaker and comes over and curls up, not on top of the person, doesn't smother the person, just close to that person with that sense of like, knowing the person needs it. Come only close enough to draw me into a corner, keep the bend from breaking. So that kind of idea that, like an animal can sense you're going through something, but that sense of like keep you from breaking by being close. It's 5 p.m. and no one has eaten dinner, is ready to sleep. This is kind of an odd line break here. No one has eaten dinner. Then you have the comma, is ready to sleep, because it's like dinner is ready, but also no one has eaten dinner. But I think it really is saying is ready to sleep. No one is ready to sleep. But that comma, I think, doesn't work that well here. I think no one has eaten dinner. or is ready to sleep might work. I don't know, but the comma seems like an odd thing that makes you misread this line a little bit as a reader. Anyway, no one has eaten dinner and is ready to sleep. But I'm heavy as a boulder, drowsy and dreading doing. There's a lot of D sounds in here. Doing this again tomorrow. This kind of calls you back to the beginning where you have this repetition all over again. Like this person doesn't even want to sleep. They don't want dinner. And they feel heavy, and they're just kind of like that kind of concept of threadbare from the beginning. They're tired out. This is largely what disappointment is about, is this kind of sense of being worn down, completely not wanting to go on, not necessarily having a reason to go on, being afraid to go on, but just existing here in this space and having it happen over and over. All right, like I said, Marisa Siegel, here it says she's getting an MFA from Mills College in Oakland. All right. She's got a chapbook out already. All right. So that's Marisa Siegel's Threadbare.